Young girls awaiting senseless pain and disfigurement, condemned by the UN, denounced by human rights organizations, deemed barbaric across the US. Genital mutilation in Africa. Yet something just as shocking is going on right here in Manhattan. Performed not by some barber in dingy backrooms, but by a certified doctor in a respected hospital, who monitors the success of his genital surgeries like this.
He's asking very young children, as young as age 6, to experience these sensations on their genitals and then report back to him how it feels. And that's what we feel could be very, very damaging to these children.
Dr. Dix Pappas, the only doctor in the U.S. known to do this, ignored RT's many requests for an interview.
On that side, the corner over there, right?
In a scientific report available online, the doctor cites using a cotton tip applicator, as well as a device generating vibratory stimulus, to determine, after operating on girls' genitals, whether or not the clitoris has preserved sensitivity. While some are finding reason to back these practices up,
this is a medical test, like other examinations that we do in the office.
To many familiar with genital surgery and common sense,
his methods are pretty scary, because the idea of us stimulating little girls with something like a vibrator, you can see immediately why that would be seen as objectionable.
An estimated 4 to 5 of these surgeries are performed in America every day. Yet their success or failure is known only decades later, when silent children find their voices.
We have large numbers of people who've experienced these surgeries who are saying that they're harmful.
People like Janet Green, born with congenital adrenal hyperplasia or undetermined sex. She says the choice to operate made by doctors and parents was subjective in her personal case, as well as countless others.
Many of these surgeries have no medical necessity. It really is a cosmetic surgery that is done on infants and on children. There are people that are doing these surgeries because they think it will prevent their child from being a lesbian.
What child genital surgeries also don't often prevent is a lifetime of suffering.
They were done at the expense of their sensation, at the expense of their not being comfortable with intimacy. So the goal, which was to have us to be able to be intimate, was really lost.
Decades after Janet's surgeries, the medical community still has no proof that operating guarantees a patient a fulfilling life, male or female. Sex therapist Tiger DeVore feels a victim of medical research.
They've been experimenting on our bodies since the 50s, and they have to stop doing that as quickly as possible because there are lots and lots and lots of us telling them it's not working.
His first surgery at 3 months and his last at 46, Tiger's life has been a chain of operations.
When the baby comes out, they look between the legs and they try to say it's a boy or it's a girl, and in my case they looked and said, if there's a medical necessity, no problem. But there was no medical necessity in my case, and I had 20 surgeries.
Tiger says the rate of suicides among young males operated on as children has been skyrocketing. He's now crusading for limiting surgeries to adults able to voice their consent.
Congress acted immediately, rapidly, amazingly rapidly, to condemn female genital mutilation in some faraway country. But to be confronted with the fact that the same thing is happening under surgeons' knives to both male and female genitals, it's a terrible thing for them to have to look at. They don't want to admit that.
Female genital mutilation has affected up to 140 million girls and women, and more than 3 million girls are at risk every year. The number of patients in the U.S. whose lives have been forever changed by unwanted surgeries might never be determined. Anastasia Churkina, RT, New York.